Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Chat About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Now, I don't know how much of this was really, really big news. I actually feel like this should have been bigger news. This is not something that I usually report on. This video is probably going to be demonetized, and that's absolutely fine. A woman allegedly was smacked with a plate in the middle of Nando's, and apparently this was all over a high chair. So this woman who was allegedly smacked with this plate in the middle of Nando's was a waitress who was working there. She was serving these customers, she was attending to them, and apparently this was all over a high chair when the incident happened. Now, according to this woman who apparently has since come forward and spoken, and I have a TikTok of this supposed woman speaking, and you'll notice that I am using sort of distance language. This is obviously to not make any false allegations. Has come forward and she said that the police were actually there, but the police failed to attend to the incident suitably at the time. I will show you her TikTok in a minute, but first of all, let's have a look at the actual incident.
Terrifying moment that a customer in Nando's appears to smack a waitress with a plate.
Right, so there you go. That's supposedly what happens. Okay, and we have to obviously, say allegedly because at the moment this is still ongoing. And as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner here on the actual video, there looks what appears to be a smashed plate on the floor. The man's wife obviously reacts to him, apparently doing so, and the waitress walks away in what we can assume is her going to get the police. Now, I want to ask a question. Two-tier policing is a cause for contention here in the UK. Do we think this is a possibility of two-tier policing, or perhaps just like an oversight? What do we think this might actually be? So the video goes on, and this is supposedly the man who has done the said offence. Apparently, the video that I'm going to show you now is the waitress, and this was all over a high chair, according to her. So if this is her, then this would probably be perhaps because she does look quite young, maybe a Saturday job where she's actually studying.
So it's then I said, let me get my manager involved because I didn't want to deal with that. So my manager's come now. The guy's still shouting, being aggressive, arguing. The manager has just sat him somewhere else with a baby chair. I asked why we're still serving him to the manager. I was ignored, and that was that. Some time passes and we notice that the table is clear now. No one's sitting there. We all just assumed they left the restaurant. The manager's asked me where they've gone. I said, I don't know. We've all assumed they've left. I'm continuing to do my job and I get a thing on my screen to go to a specific table. It was a table in the corner of the restaurant to run their food. So as I'm going and on my way to give the food to this table, I noticed that there's 2 police officers already in the restaurant waiting for their food. So I've gone to this table now, and as I'm approaching this table, I noticed that it's the couple with the baby. As I'm putting the food down, I asked them, because they have moved basically without telling anyone, without informing anyone. Usually you're supposed to tell someone at Nando's. I place the food down and I ask, are you not using the high chair then? Because they've moved by themselves without taking the high chair. It's at that point the man has picked up the plate and whacked me on the side of my head with it, and there was cutlery on the plate too. I didn't register what just happened. I remembered that the police were in the restaurant, so as you can see in the video, that's when I said, I'm going to the police. I walk off and I go to one of the officers. There were 2 officers present, a male and a female officer. I first go to the female officer and I said, this man's hit me on the head with a plate. Sorry, before that, I'd just like to also add that at this point, the wife is now chasing behind me, calling me a fat B word and repeating that as she's chasing me. With the officer now, this man's just hit me on the head. She didn't seem bothered. She said, go speak to my colleague, which was the male officer sitting down waiting for his food. I go to him and I say, this man's assaulted me, he's hit me on the head with a plate. He said, who, this fella over here? And I said, yeah. He said, okay, and he takes the guy outside, and my manager takes me to the back office. Whilst I'm in the office, I can see from the CCTV screens that the police let the guy go. So the male officer who took him outside, basically let him wander off without taking any of his details, without taking any statements, without checking the CCTV. And I could see on another screen that the female officer was having a laugh with the wife and playing with the baby. At this point, my managers have seen the CCTV. They agree that this man needs to be arrested, and they ask for the police to come in to view the CCTV. The police have now viewed the CCTV. They realised they made a mistake, but the male officer asked me what I wanted to do. I said I wanted to press charges. The officers are now telling me that I'm not allowed to press charges, or that I can't press charges because I'd have to go in front of a jury of 12 to convince them that I was unprovokedly attacked. And apparently the man has told the police officer that I threatened to punch him in the face. As you can see in the video, he's about a 6 foot something man, quite built. I'm just about 5 foot. It doesn't make sense. I point out to the officers that in the CCTV footage, you can see that at no point there was not enough time for me to have even threatened the man before I got assaulted. To which the officer replied, "Well, there's no audio attached to the CCTV, so you can't prove that." We go around in circles for about an hour, or what felt like 5 hours basically, of them telling me what do I want to do. I said I want to press charges. They said I can't, and gave me reasons as to why I couldn't, invalid reasons I had. I filed a complaint against the officers a couple of days later. Their supervisor got back to me and basically said they're humans and they made a mistake at work the same way you can make a mistake at work. And the male officer called me back also and basically told me, well, I couldn't hear or understand what you were saying, and that you didn't tell me that he hit you on the head. Their supervisor also told me that these officers are very experienced, and that due to the commotion and the busyness of the environment, that maybe they didn't understand me. They also told me nothing could be done about the situation and that the case has to be closed.
Okay, so that's apparently her side of the story. That's according to her. That is what actually happened. Okay, so I just want to say some things here. First of all, if this is the woman, I have no reason to believe that it's not the woman. But if this is the woman, then what should have happened really was that the female police officer, actually should have taken her off to the side, spoken to her, made her feel comfortable, made her feel more safe, because obviously, clearly, she was not in an environment where she was feeling safe. Spoken to her quietly in a quiet area to find out what was going on. That's what police should ordinarily do. That's my opinion, just so you know. And the other guy should have also been spoken to. Perhaps some other police officers called to actually work out entirely what was going on if they needed some backup. This whole thing of pursuing a complaint, if you've got CCTV, why didn't the police view the CCTV? I don't know what's going on. That seems a little bit unclear to me, but obviously the CCTV footage has circulated, so obviously this needs investigating, it needs looking at. And yes, the CCTV footage may not have any sound, but if someone comes forward to you with an allegation, it has to be taken seriously. So would this be an example of two-tier policing, or an example of something going towards the route of two-tier policing? So the police actually came forward after this and released this statement. A spokesperson for the Metropolitan Police said, "We are aware of a video circulating online showing such an incident in a branch of Nando's in Stratford, which took place in March." So this took place a little while ago. A report of assault was made to police at the time of the incident. However, it appears that this was not progressed promptly by the officers. We are working to establish why this happened and accept this is not the level of service Londoners should rightfully expect from the Met. Now, in my opinion, that should not happen across board. Let me just be precise there. We have since made contact with the victim and a statement has been taken. We will endeavour to keep her updated with the progress of the investigation. There has been no arrest and inquiries are ongoing to locate the man involved. Anyone who can provide information about this incident should call 101 reference CAD 1872/21 August. AUG. So if things like this happen, or allegations like this happen, and the police don't do much about it, this to me doesn't actually install good faith in the police. What you want to be seen to be doing is actually acting upon it. Now, they are acting upon it now. It appears to me that it seems to be only after the fact. Anyway, that's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Chat about it, don't shout about it. Like the video if you'd like to like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to. Head on over to my community page because I actually have a community post requesting for some video ideas for the 3 weeks that I'm away. So go and comment on that because I won't be able to cover any pop culture. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. for Woke Wednesday. Bye-bye.